Some doors should never be opened. Some voices should never be answered. Tonight, you're about to hear the story of what happens when both rules are broken. If you enjoy dark, disturbing horror stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the next story might follow you longer than you expect. I never believed in haunted houses. I believed in broken pipes, old wiring, bad memories, and the human mind's ability to create monsters where there were none. Fear, after all, was just chemistry and imagination. At least that's what I told myself. That belief died the night I returned to the house. The house was located at the edge of a small town called Gray Hollow, a place so quiet it felt unfinished. No highway passed through it. No reason to stop. You only ended up there if you were born there, or if something pulled you back. In my case, it was inheritance. My mother had passed away 3 months earlier. Heart failure, they said. Sudden, clean, simple words for something that felt anything but. We hadn't spoken in years. Not really. Our conversations were brief, cautious, like people afraid of waking something sleeping between them. When the letter arrived, stamped and official, I expected paperwork. Maybe debt. I didn't expect the house. The house I hadn't seen since I was 9. As my car rolled into Gray Hollow, my phone lost signal. The radio hissed and died. The town appeared slowly, like it was being drawn into existence as I approached. Old stores, faded signs, empty sidewalks. People watched. They didn't wave. They didn't smile. They just stared as my car passed, their eyes following me like I was a memory they wished would stay buried. I stopped at a gas station to ask for directions, though I already knew the way. The man behind the counter froze when I said my last name. "You shouldn't stay there," he said quietly. "I grew up there," I replied. He shook his head. "Not all childhoods should be revisited." That was the first warning. The second came when I reached the property. The house stood alone, surrounded by dead trees and overgrown grass. It was bigger than I remembered, or maybe I was smaller back then. The windows were dark, reflective, like eyes pretending not to see. The front door was unlocked. It always had been. Inside, the air was stale and cold, carrying the smell of dust and something faintly metallic. The furniture was covered in white sheets, like corpses waiting to be identified. I stepped inside and the door closed behind me with a soft, deliberate click. I didn't touch it. I told myself it was the wind. The floorboards creaked under my weight, each step echoing too loudly in the silence. The house felt alert, like it knew I was there, like it had been waiting. I walked through room after room, memories flickering at the edges of my thoughts, but never fully forming. The living room, the kitchen, the hallway that led upstairs. Then I noticed something that made my stomach tighten. At the end of the hallway was a door that hadn't existed before. It was black, not painted, black like it absorbed light. No handle, no lock, just a smooth surface set into the wall like it had grown there. I stood staring at it, my heart pounding for reasons I couldn't explain. A memory tried to surface. My mother's voice. "Don't go near that room." I shook my head and stepped back. "I'm tired," I muttered. "That's all." I decided to sleep downstairs. That night, I dreamed of knocking, not knocking on a door, but from the inside. I woke up at 3:17 a.m. The house was silent except for a sound drifting down from upstairs. Breathing. Slow. Steady. Not mine. I held my breath. The breathing stopped. Then came a whisper. "Emre." My blood turned to ice. I didn't answer. You came back. I stayed frozen until morning light crept through the windows. When the sun rose, the house felt smaller, less oppressive, like whatever had been awake was now sleeping again. I told myself it was stress, grief, old trauma. I was wrong. Later that morning, I found a cardboard box in the basement, taped shut, my name written on it in my mother's handwriting. Inside were cassette tapes, old ones, labeled with dates. On top was a folded note. If you are hearing this, it means I failed. Do not open the black door, no matter what you hear. My hands trembled as I picked up the first tape. Tape 1. He started talking to you. I placed it into the old player. The tape clicked. My mother's voice filled the room, but it didn't sound like her. She sounded afraid. Emre, if this is you, listen carefully. The room appeared after your 9th birthday. You said you heard someone calling your name at night. I told you it was dreams. I lied. A loud bang echoed on the recording. She gasped. He's learning. He knows you left. That's why he's quiet. But he never forgets a voice. The tape hissed. Behind her breathing came another voice. Not human. Let me finish the story. The tape ended. At that exact moment, something knocked from upstairs. Once. Slow. Deliberate. From behind the black door. I did not answer the knock. I stood frozen, the cassette player humming softly. The knock wasn't loud, yet it felt heavy. I stared at the ceiling, directly below the black door. My mother's warning echoed in my head. Do not open the black door, no matter what you hear. I ejected the tape. The clicks sounded obscene. Nothing else happened. No footsteps. No more knocking. I sank onto the couch. Old house. Old noises. Old trauma. That's all. I didn't sleep. Morning came gray and reluctant. I went upstairs. The hallway looked normal. Too normal. The black door stood silent. Up close, it was worse. The surface felt warm, like skin under fabric. I pulled my hand back. Nope, I whispered. I entered my old bedroom. Scratches near the handle triggered memories. You were screaming again. You said someone was talking to you. I opened the closet. A child's drawing showed a boy standing in front of a black square. Above it were the words, "He says he is my friend." I didn't remember drawing it. I carried the tapes downstairs. There were at least 15. I picked the second. Tape 2, rules. Static. My mother spoke. Today he started setting rules. Rule 1. You must never tell anyone you hear him. Rule 2. You must answer when he calls your name. Rule 3. You must never lock the door. A sharp sound followed. He doesn't like locked doors. He says they make him feel trapped. The tape distorted. Then the other voice. You broke the rules. The tape cut out. I checked the doors. All unlocked. That night, the whispering returned. From the walls. From the vents. Emre. I covered my ears. Stop. You always did that, it said. You named me once. I don't remember. You will. Shadows stretched. You promised you wouldn't leave. A memory surfaced. A boy. A friend. A disappearance. He listened better than you, the voice said. He opened the door. Footsteps creaked upstairs. They stopped behind the black door. Come upstairs, it said. I want to show you what you forgot. The lights flickered. I ran. I burst out of the house and didn't stop until town. The gas station clerk looked at me. You opened it, didn't you? I didn't. Then you're running out of time. Time for what? For remembering. That night, at a motel, I dreamed of a door opening inward. Of a dark room with no corners. Of something smiling without a face. When I woke, my phone buzzed. A voicemail. From my own number. I pressed play. My voice whispered. I'm upstairs. He says it's okay now.